Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me here on my indoor garden once again. Today isn't really a video to update you on how the garden is going. It's more a very important discussion that many people I know are concerned about and many people debate back and forth. This isn't really a debate. I really don't care to get into debates on things, but more or less something that concerns everybody. I do watch a lot of other gardeners' videos on YouTube's. You know, that's what got me into this whole thing of growing my own food, stuff like that. So there's a lot of gardeners I really like to watch, and sometimes as I'm watching their videos, I'm always thinking, you know, what variety of tomato do I want to buy? Which one tastes the best? Which one is going to grow really well for me? And investigating and looking at some of the different varieties of tomatoes that people grow, I'm discovering that there's a lot of tomatoes that are actually owned by the Monsanto Corporation. Yes, I said it, the dirty word. Monsanto. Anyway, why is that a concern? Well, you know, the tomatoes and you know, peppers and other vegetables and things that Monsanto owns the rights to, I'm not really concerned about them being GMOs because, you know, as far as I know, they're not GMOs. They're hybrid tomatoes and hybrid peppers and other things. So even though they're not GMOs, it's still a concern because when you buy a tomato plant that is owned and sold by Monsanto, you're putting money in the pockets of a corporation that victimizes people. And this is something that you can research for yourself. You know, don't take my word for it. All this, of course, is hearsay from documentaries and you know, things that I've watched. There's a really neat documentary recently that I watched called Death by Seeds. Death by Seeds more deals with the GMO side of why GMOs are bad for your health, bad for the planet. But it does hit on the fact that GMO corn, soy, you know, the pollen from these crops can you know, travel hundreds of miles and contaminate other crops. And it's not just a bad thing because you have, you know, GMOs contaminating these crops. It's much more than that. Another documentary that talked about this is, I believe, Food Inc. Hit on this quite a bit, actually, of these farmers, you know, the smaller farmers who have been farming for generations and for hundreds of years have saved their own heirloom seeds for coins, for corn, soy, whatever they may be growing. And what happens is, if somebody in their community or 100 miles away even is growing these GMO products, the pollen will travel and contaminate their crops. Well, why is that a problem? Because Monsanto, like any corporation, is interested in protecting their investment. And so what Monsanto did is told these farmers, you can't save your seeds anymore because you have our product now in your fields, even though these farmers never purchased a Monsanto seed or planted anything Monsanto. You know, they're told you can't save your seeds anymore. And you know, the farmers were like, hey, look, we don't want your product. We didn't ask it to come into our fields. And you know, when the farmers continued to save their seeds, Monsanto, of course, sued them for copyright infringement and so forth. and just has victimized, allegedly hundreds of, poor farmers and ruined their lives. Generations of hard work just, and these people didn't have any choice but to either buy Monsanto seeds now or spend years and thousands of dollars cleaning up and decontaminating their crops. And that, to me, it's just wrong. It's not fair. So regardless of whether or not you think GMOs are good or bad, it's definitely hurting people. So this is more of an informational video, so that when you go to purchase your seeds or your seedlings from wherever you get them, your local garden center, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, whatever, so that you know that what you're purchasing, is it something that you're going to be putting money into the pockets of Monsanto or not. I have a list of tomatoes. You might be wondering, well, why are we just looking at tomatoes? Well, it's a lot of work to do all the research and for me to sit here and list off hundreds and thousands of different varieties of vegetables and so forth. So you could do the research on your own if you want to find out all the various different varieties. But the easiest way to find out if you're purchasing Monsanto products or not is to simply download an application on your mobile device. This is a free application which will tell you whether or not that product is Monsanto. And all it does is it uses the camera on your phone or your mobile device, and the camera will scan the barcode of the product, and it will tell you what company owns that product, and it will tell you if there's a parent company. For example, Monsanto purchased a company called Seminis back in 2005, and Seminis had hundreds of hybrid vegetables, many tomatoes, peppers, so forth. You can still go to Seminis.com and see all the different varieties of tomatoes and other vegetables that they still have listed there. Now, the list that I came up in my research, I'm not claiming that this list is 100% accurate, because Monsanto may have sold some of these varieties to other companies and so forth, but I'm pretty confident that the varieties on this list were at one time, most of them still are owned by Monsanto. So I'm just going to briefly, I'm not going to read everything because there's 3 papers here. Amsterdam, Beefmaster, Better Boy, Big Beef. Like I said, I watch a lot of other gardeners' videos, and one gardener in particular who I've learned a lot from and who I really like and respect, he grows nothing, well, I think mostly big beef tomatoes. And maybe he purchased his seeds or seedlings years ago, and maybe he's just continued to save the seeds, and maybe he's just continued to clone his tomatoes, and so maybe he's not putting money in the hands of Monsanto. I'm not here to beat anybody up. I'm not here to mention any names and put anybody down. This is just informational. Maybe people are buying a variety of tomato and they don't know it's owned by Monsanto. So some other varieties are Celebrity, Cupid, Early Girl. I did have an Early Girl tomato plant here, and last year when I bought it, I didn't know it was owned by Monsanto. Granny Smith, Husky Red, Husky Cherry Red, Lemon Boy. Let's see, there's Phoenix, Poseidon, Sun Sugar, Sweet Baby Girl, Tiffany, Trust, Viva Italia, Crown Jewel, Empire, Heat Master, Pink Girl, Sun Bright, Sun Chief, Sun Guard, Sunshine. That's just to name a few. You can go to Seminis.com if you want to look into it for yourself. I'll put the link in the description. But like I said, the easiest way to find out, researching it obviously can take a long time, because Monsanto is one of those companies who, it seems as though they don't want you to know that you're buying their product. They don't put their name on any of their products that I know of. In fact, Monsanto is one of the few companies, if not the only company, that doesn't label their products with their name, which should have you asking some questions. So I hope this has been informative for you. By the way, that application that you can get on your mobile device is called Buycott, B-U-Y-C-O-T-T. I'll put that in the description as well. But if you download that application, like I said, it's free in the Apple App Store. It's probably free in other app stores as well if you want to download it on your Android or whatever else you have. And the application, like I said, is super simple to use. It uses the camera on your phone. You can scan the barcode of products before you buy them. Even produce, you can scan the barcode of produce and it will tell you if it's GMO produce or not. And like I said, it'll tell you who the parent company is of the company, if it lists, the child company. So definitely look into it, because you want to know where your money's going, right? At least I do. So I hope this has been informative for you. Just a real quick update on the garden. Pepper plants, chili plants, everything's doing real well. Been pruning the peppers, topping them. As you can see, the fig trees, lots of growth on the fig trees. If you've been keeping up with my channel, I've got 4 green Ischia, if I'm even saying that right, fig trees. When I got them, they were nothing but stems and roots, bare roots, no leaves whatsoever. And I potted them up, been taking care of them. Look at all the growth we got on there. So real happy with the way the fig trees are going, with the way everything else is doing. I'm no expert gardener, but I watch your guys' videos to learn stuff, and I just take in information from everywhere, and I decide whether or not I want to use that information. And so far, everything's working out really good for me. So stay tuned. If you want to stay updated, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and definitely share this video, pass on the information. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.